ग्रेजिंग लैंड्स, अब उनके एनिमल्स सर्वाइव कैसे करेंगे ये एनिमल्स, ठीक है ना। ग्रेजिंग लैंड्स, प्लेजेंट वेदर कंडीशंस एंड वाटर, दैट्स व्हाई देन when people are moving from one place towards other. इसकी एग्जांपल गुज्जर्स, these गुज्जर्स which are displaced from Jammu and Kashmir towards Punjab, Haryana with their buffaloes. No, buffaloes. Guज्जर्स moving with their buffaloes. Shepherds move. Hanji? Gaddis, one of the tribal community known for the rearing of a sheeps, white sheeps. Goats, bakkarwals. These are the tribals known for the, उनकी रेयरिंग नहीं की जाती, उनके साथ होते एक दो रखे होते हैं, 1-2 for carrying the material. When they are moving from the undulating surfaces to the mountainous regions, they can't forget it. छोड़ दो. Can you tell me about which of the grassland associated with the parts of our Rajasthan? That Rajasthan which receives as a scanty rainfall. So nomads displaced from one place to another for the search of a food, but the nomadic herders move one place towards other for the search of grazing land, for water and a pleasant weather conditions. During as winters, when heavy snowfall occurred in the Himalayas and the Himalayan region in J&K and Himachal Pradesh, Gujars moving towards the plains of India with their herds, buffaloes. Gaddis move towards the plains towards India, sheep rearers, and the bakkarwals. No, it's not maids. Clear? Next, intensive subsistence farming, intensive small scale. When farmers produce crops at a smaller agricultural field, smaller land holdings with modern techniques of farming, modern inputs of farming are used for increase of production is known as intensive subsistence farming. Such kind of agriculture practices are practiced in a densely populated areas, the thickly populated area where the smaller surface area, it's due to the right to inheritance law. Right to inheritance means bifurcation of a land among the coming generations. Earlier, a person which owned as of 5 acres of a land, already having there 5 of their kids. After death of the individual, their land distributed among the each of kids as a 1 acre. If the all such kids having their two kids and half acre among the others, this is as bifurcation of a land. Land holdings becomes as a smaller in size. So smaller agriculture fields, to increase the production, they use some modern inputs of farming. Assured irrigation, use of HYV seeds, fertilizers, insecticides, increase the per hectare production, especially in a densely populated area, in which only as a cereal crops are produced by the farmers, wheat and rice. Clear? Third, shifting slash and burn agriculture, shifting cultivation, practiced by the tribals in those forest lands where forests are cutted and shrubs are burnt. The remaining ash used for the production of crops. When land loses their fertility after a tenure of 4 to 7 years, when land loses their fertility, it assets to the decrease in production. Then such tribals displace towards other areas. Shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivators. In northeastern states, this is known as a zoom cultivators. Clear? Next, primitive subsistence agriculture. Primitive subsistence agriculture, smaller agriculture fields used to traditional skills for production of crops. Primitive subsistence farming. इसमें टेक्निक्स मॉडर्न है, इसके अंदर मेथड्स ट्रेडिशनल है, in which as a machines are used for a rearing of for the cultivation of crops, animals are used for cultivation of crops. They are having as assured irrigation facilities In primitive, as they are dependent upon a monsoons, rainfall. If the rainfall is a normal, they can produce the crops. In this, as the with cereal crops, they can produce as the vegetables and the fruits also. But in primitive, they can only produce the food crops, cereal crops, wheat and rice only. In this, to increase intensive subsistence, they can increase the fertility of a land through fertilizers. But in primitive, they can increase. They are used as a animal excreta for increase the fertility of a soil. Cow dung. Okay. Any other? Chaliye next. Commercial farming. When crops are produced for a very good profits, to earn profits. Commercial farming. So what are the characteristics of this? Commercial farming practiced on a larger extensive area. Large extensive areas are used for a production. Dustman, please. Commercial, larger land holdings, production of cash crops. Commercial farming, production of cash crops like tea, coffee, fruits, vegetables. Vegetables, sugarcane, cotton, jute. Commercial crops. Rubber, very good. Rubber, crops produced to earn profits, maximize the profits. Third, modern inputs of farming, use of HIV seeds, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides used in a large scale. As per the modern inputs of farming, they needs as a more dash for production. No, land is already available here. Wake up, girls. For production, for a purchasing of a modern inputs of farming, they needs as a larger number of a very good, excellent boy. Capital, money. The role of a labor is a secondary thing, not as a primary. If the capital is there, then they can avail as a modern machinery. In larger extensive area, they will lesser emphasize over the labor, where machinery is required for a production. In US, where the commercial crops, they are produced in an extensive area with the help of machines. They spray the pesticides through the helicopters. In a same agriculture field, 4 to 5 combines they use. So role of a labor is a secondary in a commercial agriculture practices. Clear, Japji? But in production of some of the crops, labor is the primary. For example, if they are producing as a rubber guntas, if farmer produce as rubber or tea, they needs as a labor, more labor. Because there are not as a machinery is evolved for producing areas. So the types of the agricultures in a commercial agriculture are first, plantation agriculture, mixed farming, plantations, mixed farming, horticultural crops, horticultural crops, in plantations along the slopes of mountains, plantations along the slopes of the mountains, the extensive area transform into the agriculture fields to dash farming practices. Terrace farming. Terrace or a step farming through which the slopes of mountains capable for a production of crops in extensive areas. So through terrace and step farming, slopes of the mountains transform into agriculture fields for production of rice and tea farms. In India, rice produced thrice in a year. Thrice in a year in which state? In which of the North India? North India is a state. Now, Tanisha. Can you give me the name of a state, Indian state, which is known for 3 crops in a year associated with the rice?
West Bengal.
पंजाब में राइस एक बार नहीं होता, अभी बीट हो रही है.
West Bengal.
No. Yes, Tanisha. हरियाणा में. Yes, you. His name? Satak. Janvi. Yes, online. Very good. Japji given correct answer. Assam. 3 crops in a year. Assam. West Bengal known for a jute production. Jute bags. Hanji. Done by the farmers. Production. Yes. Yes, Parthiv Gupta. NSA stands for? National Central Level means substitute, किसी चीज का substitute हो गया, और authority एक ऐसी authority जो central level में substitute होती है. NSA. The term is associated with the land, cultivation of land. Any other name? Jagjot. Excellent boy. Very good. Sit down. Net sown area. Net sown area means total land. NET, net sown, SOWN, sown area, AREA. The land which is used for a cultivation more than once in a year. More than once in a year. What it means? पूरे इंडिया में ही है. पंजाब में, in Punjab, in 2 agriculture seasons we can produce 2 crops, wheat and rice. In all over the country there are 3 agriculture seasons are there: Kharif, Rabi, Zaid. In 3 agriculture seasons farmers can produce 3 crops. अभी का असम में 3 क्रॉप्स प्रोड्यूस की जा सकती हैं एक ही साल के अंदर: खरीफ, रबी, जायद. क्लियर? जायद is a short tenure of a agriculture crop which has run in between of a May and June. April is a time of a harvesting of a rabi crop. Rabi crop begins with the November sowing of a wheat which harvests in April. Afterwards April, May and June known for a Zaid crop in which preferably as a pulses are produced. Arhar ki dal. Arhar, moong, moat, gram. These are preferably produced which are ready for the harvest within 45 to 60 days. Afterwards June. July is a sowing period of a rice for which a labor brought in a larger quantities from Jharkhand, Bihar towards a parts of Punjab, Haryana. That labor called for a sowing of a paddy crop, and that paddy crop harvest in a month of very good October. अगर जुलाई में फसल को लगाए तो जुलाई में काट देंगे, जुलाई से जुलाई में आ गए. So when a land used thrice in a year, more than once in a year for a production is NSA, net sown area. When total land which has used for a cultivation, कुछ ऐसा एरिया जहां पे एक बार प्रोडक्शन होती, कहीं पर 2 बार होती, कहीं पर 3 बार होती है. 3 एग्रीकल्चर सीजन. Total land area under the cultivation is known as GSA. GSA, gross sown area. लिख लिया? Very good, Tanish. Tushar. Dairy farming, poultry farming, these are done by the farmers to regularize their income. Agriculture is a sector in which the income generate after the 6 to 7 months. Some of the crops are there which are ready for the harvest once in a year. For example, fruits. For example, sugarcane. Apple fruits में नहीं आता. Apple fruits में नहीं आता. पहले मैंने fruits कहा था, फिर आपने apple कहा. Sugarcane is an annual crop. Clear? Third, horticultural crops. When crops are produced for selling purposes like fruits. Himalayas, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir for the apricots and apple. Uttar Pradesh for guava. Northeastern states, Assam, Meghalaya for the pineapples. Maharashtra, known for the oranges. Kerala, coastal parts of Kerala, Karnataka, known for the bananas. These kinds of crops produced for commercial purposes, selling purposes towards the other economies of the world. The horticultural crops. The other activities which are associated with the agriculture are